Nice, Prater. If you're going to the Mountain West Championship game Friday, you got to come hang out with Prater in the ball game at Idaho Sports Talk. We'll be there from 3 to 5, right next to the Bronco shop in front of the ticket office, Albertson Stadium, West Side. And Prater, Ashton Jeanty Heisman, I believe JP is working on more stickers.
Nice. We're going to have some T-shirts. We're going to hang out and have some fun, guys. So, yeah, definitely stop by. Last time we did it, we had a blast. Met a couple hundred of you guys, and let's double that number and keep us busy, keep us preoccupied, and let's have a blast on Friday.
Yeah, we want to see that. There's a lot of people who didn't get their sticker. We ran out. No, we'll have more of them, and swing on by and say hey to us, and that'll be fun, Prater. Lots of fun. Let's talk about this thing. Ashton Jeanty and the Heisman. What does he have to do? Is there anything he can do? Are you tired of hearing everybody say he has no chance when he has a game left? We wanted to talk about this right now, just kind of about what he can still do. Why don't you start us off, Mr. Heisman voter over there, and Ashton Jeanty Heisman talk? We're holding on to it by the skin of our teeth right now.
Well, the Heisman talk, we're going to embellish that and have as much fun as humanly possible. I put my feelings out there over the weekend, and I think Travis Hunter, and it's just a prediction, guys. It's all it is a prediction. I predicted that Travis Hunter has wrapped up the Heisman Trophy. I'm about 90% wrong on my prediction, so you got a chance there, guys.
Nice.
It's just the odds. Looking at the odds, looking at the Deion Sanders primetime PR machine, looking at everything that he did. Everything, I know it's not fair. We all think that Ashton Jeanty is the best player in the country. He's certainly the most dominant player at his position. He's probably the most dominant player in college football, period, and regardless of position. So, but it doesn't always work that way. And it kind of baffles my mind that people waking up in Boise, Idaho, all of a sudden in the last month realize that the Heisman Trophy is a popularity contest. It's been that way for a long time, guys. And there's no doubt that the Travis Hunters, the Deons, the prime factor is going to be the popular factor. So it was just a prediction. I haven't released my vote yet. My vote is due next Monday. Ballots actually came out today. You can actually start voting today. I would suggest to other Heisman, to my 949 other peers, don't put your ballot in until after the championship games Saturday night and see what happens after that.
Yep.
But, I've always waited until Monday. I think I'll do it on Sunday this year, just because, I don't want to have that computer glitch and be the one guy that didn't get his vote in. So I figured I know who I'm voting for. As a matter of fact, I think I have my top 3, and I wish I could divulge it and talk about it. We can't do that until 2 weeks from today, actually. And, after the ceremony on that, the following Saturday next weekend is when we're going to be able to. But Ashton Jeanty is going to New York. He's going to be one of the top 2 or 3. He's probably going to finish definitely top 1 or 2. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I think his chances this weekend, or chances to win the Heisman, are it's a long shot. And as I wrote in my column over the weekend, if he gets the Barry Sanders record over this weekend, I think that's going to be really, really close. It's going to make it closer. And I do think the voting will be closer than the odds indicate. I have been saying that for a couple of weeks on this show and in my columns. And I truly believe that the votes will be way closer than the odds indicate. And if for whatever reason Ashton Jeanty goes for 341 on Friday night, that's one of the most powerful statements in the history of the Heisman Trophy race.
I mean, he's down 340. That's what Prater's indicating of Barry's record. 341 breaks it, whether it's Friday, if he gets it all. And I mean, come on, guys, that would be one of the greatest moments in college football history if Ashton Jeanty can rush for 341 yards, win the game, and hopefully the Heisman with it. I mean,
especially against UNLV, where Ashton Jeanty had his worst performance of the season.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and we all wish that we could have those kinds of worst performances. So I'm putting that in perspective. But of his 12 regular season games, that was the one where he struggled the most.
Yeah, it was. And luckily, and we'll talk about this all week, Mason Randolph, Roger Carrion both did not play in the UNLV game. And that was more when Boise State was just getting used to kind of having this patchwork line they had to make up after the Hawaii win. They went into UNLV on that Friday night. Prater and I were there. We were in Vegas that weekend, and the line has really never recovered, and they were even rusty. They said that a bunch, the coaches did today, in regards to Roger and Mason. Hopefully there's less rust on Friday, and this offensive line can perform at the level it was performing or close to in the month of September, Prater, when Ashton Jeanty completely knocked the cover off the ball in college football. If they can get back to that, and maybe it's the line, we'll see. But Ashton Jeanty, I mean, heck, it's got to be the record. Prater, can I give you like a 267 and 4 touchdowns, and Boise State wipes the floor with UNLV? Not 341, but 268, 4-5 teeters. Can that, in your opinion, maybe sway some?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll sway some.
Okay.
Will it be enough based on what we know of the odds? Maybe. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see how it plays out.
208-424-9300 on the hotline. Cameron, appreciate you holding. You're first up, and we're just kind of asking you, what, if anything, does Ashton Jeanty need to do in order to win the Heisman Trophy? Cameron, you're up first. Go for it, bud.
Yeah, man. So basically everything Prater just said, I 100% agree with. That's what I was going to call in and say. But here's the thing, man. I think you reverse the schools, and Ashton probably wins it easy. I think it's a school thing. I think if Ashton's in the bigger school, the bigger conference, and Hunter's over here at Boise State, I think the runaway favorite's Ashton. I think it's all about that. They've both had incredible years. No one's going to argue with that. They're both having phenomenal years. Maybe any other year, Ashton runs away with it. I think it's going to be unfortunately a close second place for Ashton, but I mean, still incredible. I mean, we're all stoked for him. We wish he could win, but what if just maybe he goes for that 350, 6 teeters. Does maybe he get that chance at the Heisman? I don't know. I hope so. I hope for the best for him. He deserves it, man.
Hey, great call, Cameron. Appreciate you listening all these years, and thanks for calling, man. That's the funny thing here is, Prater. And this is so Ashton Jeanty. We're talking about over 300 yards, and it's not the most senile nut job sports take you would ever hear. And for any other running back in any other season, it probably is. And Ashton Jeanty has never ran for 300 yards in a game. It would even be great for him. But the fact that we're even kind of like, Prater, we're kind of entertaining this. Like, well, it's crazy how good this kid is. And I thought Cameron was right on one thing, Prater. If Travis Hunter is doing what he's doing, playing both ways at Boise State or New Mexico or UNLV, it's not near as big a deal. And if Ashton Jeanty has these numbers in the Big 12, I would agree with Cameron. I think the Heisman is more so his, if you did flip
absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, that's a hypothetical. It absolutely works in his favor. But also, the one thing that we haven't talked about here is, we could play all kinds of hypotheticals. When was the last time there was a Heisman race without a dominant Power 4 quarterback?
There's no quarterback in this race. You're right.
That's exactly why Ashton Jeanty and Travis Hunter are taking advantage of that. I mean, there's been a Power 4, Power 5 quarterback, 10 straight years or whatever it is?
Good point.
I know there's been a couple of running backs. What was it? 7, whatever it was. So the fact that the timing of the fact of the lack of Power 5 dominant quarterbacks and Bo Nix is as close as it gets. And Bo Nix is, I mean, if he wins this weekend, shouldn't he be getting more love? He's a boring Heisman candidate, but isn't there something to be said for a guy that has really good stats on a dominant, undefeated football team? I think Dylan Gabriel should get more love. I'm not saying he should be ahead of Ashton Jeanty by any means, but the lack of a Power 5 quarterback here has certainly helped both of those guys.
That is such a good point too, because there's always that.
There's always
that what is it, that dime novel quarterback, and they steal the show, and you just vote for them, and they're John Wayne, and there isn't that guy this year. You're absolutely right. Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, anybody else you want to throw in there. Shedeur Sanders hasn't gotten hardly any buzz. It's all been his teammate Travis Hunter on this.
I thought about Shedeur Sanders over the weekend as I was kind of playing, and I played around with my Heisman ballot for the first time ever this weekend. I don't play around with that stuff until way late in the season. And I started looking at some models and stuff, and I reached out to some people asking about Shedeur Sanders. Are we targeting the wrong dude on Colorado's football team? Because Shedeur Sanders is a hell of a football player. And the common theme that I got back from him was, yeah, he's really good, but he's also responsible for every one of their losses.
Yeah, okay. They put the losses on him, on Shedeur, on the way, on
the way that he played in those games, and they can pin back, and I didn't go back and look at it, but the common theme was that Shedeur Sanders is responsible for Colorado's 3 losses, and Travis Hunter is just out there doing his thing. So, Dylan Gabriel certainly had a great season. Cam Ward's had some magical moments, but probably more early on in the season, and certainly faded big time late. I think going to New York this weekend or next weekend, guys, it's going to be 3 people. They have to pick a third. I don't think they've ever had a 2. Well, I know they've never had at least in the modern era, they've never taken just 2. They got to take a third, but and they will. And back in the 2015, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and Deshaun Watson.
Oh, they did that. Watson got. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. They let Watson go. 208-424-9300 here. Prater in the ball game. What Ashton Jeanty has to do, if anything, to win the Heisman. I will say this on Colorado's benefit. They must have had a plan that it's Travis for the Heisman, not Shedeur. We don't want someone taking away potential votes.
I don't think that's true.
Else.
They've been promoting both publicly and officially over the last couple of weeks, I believe.
I haven't heard a lot of the Shedeur promo outside of Travis
JP,
Hunter.
wasn't that there was a promotional package over the weekend? Did it include both of them?
I thought it was just Hunter. I thought it was just Hunter.
There was one a couple of weeks ago that included both of them.
Okay.
Maybe they've narrowed that down just to one now, but yeah, I mean, certainly they're jumping on that hype machine, and they know that Travis Hunter is the odds-on favorite, and they're trying to take advantage of that.
All right, let's get to Lee. Appreciate you holding Lee on the hotline. Lee, what does Ashton Jeanty have to do for you, or what would you like to see for Ashton Jeanty be able to, I guess, steal the Heisman away from Travis Hunter?
Actually, I'd have it the other way around. I think it's Travis Hunter to steal away from Jeanty. Here's why: is that take it on early on in the season. Look what Ashton Jeanty, excuse me, pronounced his name wrong. Ashton Jeanty did against Oregon. Look what he did against, teams that have good defenses. I mean, he still had, 150, 100, 200 yards rushing? And that's hard to do against a, top 15, top 25 defense in the country on it. You look at Travis Hunter. His statistics, if I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, Prater, because you're a statistical genius guru on this.
No.
Early on in the season, like the first 5 games, yes, you had Colorado's quarterback, prime son, big, hype quarterback. Yeah, he made some mistakes and stuff like that. But if you look at if I recall the statistics for Travis Hunter, weren't as good until like the 4th or 5th game of the season. I could be wrong on that, but if you look at it consistently wise and who they played and the defenses they played against, I'm looking at the offense of the ball. Defense of the ball, yeah, whatever. But you look at the offensive side and what Travis Hunter did during those first 5 games, honestly, I don't think he has nothing on Jeanty.
All right, Lee.
Not.
All right, cool. Thanks for the call. There's Lee Prater. You can't win the Heisman with good stats in September. Right?
No.
Right. I mean, or you can't lose the Heisman if you don't have a great September. And I think that's kind of where Lee was going. Like, dude, it's a full season thing. And as Prater sadly said, the Heisman is not about stats. And he's right about that. You can look back at every single year. Very rarely does the dude with the crazy stats just win the Heisman because of his stats. Very rarely does that happen. Let's get to Jeff. He's holding on the line, too. Last call, we'll take this segment, Jeff. What you got, man? Jeanty and the Heisman, what do you need to see?
I hope that you can hear me okay. I'm driving home from the holiday from Oregon, and we're listening on the wonderful KTIK app. Because I want to point out, the first one is that not only is Travis Hunter a P4 player, but he's playing for Deion, and Deion is the loudest marketing piece in college football, and everything that he does gets amplified tenfold because of Deion. If he were at any other, even Big 12 school, I don't think this would be a contest. But the point that I really want to try to make is just simply that the fact that Ashton Jeanty is where he's at is remarkable, and the way Boise State has balanced playing for a national championship with trying to prop up their best player for the biggest award in college football has been really an incredible feat. And I'm not sure a lot of other schools can do that. I'm not sure even Colorado, whether they realized it was playing for both things at the same time. So I'm so incredibly in awe of Ashton Jeanty and excited to get to see him play one more time. If you look at the numbers, Travis Hunter has had a decent season, but someone put up Troy Edwards from Louisiana Tech in 1998, who finished with way better numbers, but he played at La Tech. I think he finished 10th or 11th in the Heisman Trophy, playing both ways and special teams, more touchdowns, all that stuff. Consensus All-American, didn't even sniff the Heisman.
Yep. I mean, I was 10 years old, and I'm still mad that Desmond Howard won it over Mario Bailey because Mario Bailey had better stats. No one knows who Mario Bailey is. Everybody knew who Desmond was. 208-424-9300. Good stuff on our Dollar Loan Center video segment. You can find this segment on our YouTube channel, and JP's always bugging. If you haven't subscribed or liked or whatever to the KTIK YouTube channel, please do it now. If you can get 5 new subscriptions, JP is going to love you. And our next segment, I've been waiting all day for this, Prater. Planting flags on opponents' fields, refusing to shake hands pregame. You guys, does college football have a sportsmanship problem? And how would it be fixed, or should it be fixed? 208-424-9300. What did you think of all those flags trying to be planted on enemy territory on Sunday? We're Prater in the ball game.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.
Drive Check brought to you by